Hey my friends, I've got a special message for you today, and this is a write-up I did on Facebook, and I got a bunch of kudos on it. It kind of reflects how I'm feeling on some days when I've had a really rough day being an entrepreneur, being a fitness guy, or doing videos or being on TV, just doing all that stuff that stresses you out. I know there are a lot of you in this same boat, and there are times when you just don't feel like dealing with all the, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it shit, okay? There's a lot of shit going on, and a lot of times you don't feel like dealing with that. And I kind of, after being in business for a couple decades, I kind of came up with some things this morning that I thought would help you kind of work your way through this. And I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a mental professional. I'm just going to tell you through sitting in offices and traveling around the world for 2 decades, when things are just really weighing heavy on my shoulders, some of the things that I go through and my process for dealing with the stress, and some of the things that have made my life easier. And this isn't necessarily always if you're an entrepreneur. You could just be, a stay-at-home mom, someone who works a 9-to-5 job, someone who just is juggling a lot of balls. You have a lot of balls in the air, and at sometimes when you reach the end of the day, you have no idea how the world did not just crash and burn around you. So as opposed to you kicking a puppy or kicking a kitten, here are some tips from me to you to kind of help you get through that. The first thing is, and by the way, these are the things that have made me over the decades have fewer and fewer of these moments. The first one is one I'm getting ready to do here in about 25 minutes religiously. It's fitness time, it's gym time. There are times in my day where I tense up so hard, and all of us hold our attention in different places. For me, it's my neck sometimes and my shoulders, I've been told. For other people, it's just different body parts. You can see it sometimes. People furrow their brow, where people hold their tension. And the first thing on my list here of things I've used to get rid of that tension and that stress is really heavy physical activity. Not just light stuff. Not just, go walk around the block and take a deep breath. No. I belong to the YMCA, where I lift lots of weights, and I'm heading here to CrossFit in about 24 minutes now as we speak. And at CrossFit, I'm going to work my ass off, and I'm going to make it hard. I'm going to make myself so tired that I eventually get into a state where I realize that all the stuff I'm stressing over just doesn't matter. Oftentimes in the moment, we take the small things and we make them big things. And we kind of have to get outside of ourselves sometimes to realize that those small things really are small things. And for me, one of the things I do there is I just exhaust myself, and I focus on exercise so much that, number one, I can't think about anything else. And by the end of the fitness session, I'm so exhausted that all I really care about is being able to stand up and breathe and not collapse. So my first one right there is, please get into some kind of fitness program where you can beat something up, where you can throw something around, where you can really work your body so hard to get that stress and that tension out of your muscles. The second one right here is you really have to narrow that circle of people. You really have to narrow that circle of clients, that circle of friends, that circle of lovers, or whatever that is in your life, that circle of quote-unquote best friends. You really have to narrow that down tight, because we really only have a finite amount of brain bandwidth to be able to handle relationships. And the more people you put in there, especially the high maintenance, high stress people, your brain just does not have the bandwidth to process those relationships, and you're going to end up getting frustrated with people. And the more people you have there, it's just the more friends and the more social circle you have to get frustrated with. So what I wrote down here is, when building your list of friends or clients, filter out the a-holes as early as possible. Always be looking for issues and either head them off of the past or shut down the relationship before it gets toxic. And a good friend of mine has, it's just her business mantra that we just don't work with people that we have any hint of being a pain in the ass in the future. And the pain in the ass could be relative to each person, but whether it's a friend that you see a potential there, or a client, or a potential, mate or whatever, just kind of try to filter out those people early. And when you get anything like the spidey sense on the back of your neck that things aren't going right, do me a favor and just cut that off at the pass. The third one that I wrote down is confidence. Know that you know what you know. If you are damn good, don't be ashamed to talk about it. And I've seen a lot of people that are very wishy-washy. When you're wishy-washy, people will run all over you. And when people run all over you, they will stress you out. And you have to get to that state where you know what you know so well that when people start railroading over you and they try to basically make you feel like, number one, either you're lacking in self-worth or that what you know, putting some self-doubt in your brain that what you know isn't 100% true. First of all, if you are an entrepreneur, you have an expertise for a reason. You are an expert. You are a fiduciary. You are someone who's respected for your opinion and for your personality. And if you deal with people that, or if you yourself don't have that confidence, then people are going to railroad over you, and it's going to affect that self-confidence, and that's going to stress you out more. And this especially comes in true in a type of situation where you're going to be negotiating with people. If you walk into a pricing situation and you're an entrepreneur and you have no idea, what should I charge? I want to charge the lowest. I want to be the cheapest and the best, or I'm not quite sure what I should charge because they may not pay it or whatever. You've got to get over that, and you've got to get very confident in your pricing and your presentation and your knowledge and your thought leadership. When you walk into a situation like that and you're confident and you know what you're talking about, there's no more stress there. It's, this is me, this is what I do, this is my price. We may have a little wiggle room, we can negotiate a little bit, but for the most part, if you don't like it, then I may not be the fit for you. And that comes about in thought leadership and confidence. So please work on that also. The fourth one is the third and fourth one here. The fourth one here I wrote down is called find that inner circle. And what I'm talking about there is you may have kind of a social circle of 200 people or 100 people, and then as you narrow that down, you're going to find a core small group of people, and I'm going to say it's going to be less than 5, a core small group of people that you trust wholeheartedly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with all of your personal information, with information about love, about what's going on in your personal life, about business, about finance, about things that make you laugh, about things that make you cry. You've got to find those core people, and it's going to be less than 5, like I said. And what I tell people to do is I say start a group text with those people, and basically talk to them every day and make sure you pull them out and make sure the 5 of you are conversing on a regular basis to give you a chance to vent every single day about the shit that's on your mind. And that will basically help you just slow, as opposed to holding and repressing all that in, that will basically let you get that out on a regular basis. And also, it's a good accountability because you can check with some other people, like I said, and make sure that you are their inner circle, and give them a place to vent and a place to make sure that they just de-stress on a regular basis. And like I said, has to be less than 5 people. And the last one I learned here to say is learn to say I don't care. And because getting back to the whole 80-20 thing, which I've talked about in a lot of videos, the more things, the more bandwidth, the more people, the more situations in general that you're trying to deal with, the more it's going to stress you out. And you've got to learn to filter it out to the bare minimum of clients, the bare minimum of tasks, the bare minimum of people in your life that you need sometimes to de-stress. I'm a very social person. I can handle a lot of social situations, a lot of social interaction. I know people that don't do well in a lot of social situations. Any gathering over 5 people, and they start to stress out. And that stress will carry over into your personal life and your business life. And so the way I put this here is I've kept my sanity by learning to stop caring about most things. If I don't care, I don't pay attention to something. And when I don't pay attention, I can't have an emotional reaction to it. And a very good example I gave is on my computer, for Facebook, on Chrome, I installed something called the Newsfeed Eradicator, so I don't see 90% of that BS that comes across on Facebook. Because you know what? I don't care about it. Facebook may be your life or whatever. It's not my life. And so I don't care about what you ate or what your kids had or what the weather's like or what the temperature gauge says on your dashboard. I don't care about any of that crap. I hop on Facebook to do business, to chat with potential clients, and I try to get off as soon as possible. And that's just the case there. Just sometimes you have to learn to say you are done with certain things, and you just can't have those in your life anymore. So those are my 5 tips for today. And the title of this, I call the title of this, hold on, because the iPad's not scrolling, How to Hold It Together and just not lose your shit every single day. Because there are plenty of days where we want to lose our shit and kick a puppy across the room, and it's just not socially acceptable to kick puppies. So hopefully these tips have been helpful to you to help you get to the point where you just won't lose your shit every single day. I would love to hear your comments below. And as always on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share to share these thoughts around to your friends also. Try not to lose your shit today. Try not to lose your shit tomorrow, and I appreciate you watching. Take care.